Big Boss Man shit. Gang.
I've been tying me in different hoes. Me and bro, we switching those. Hit her with a pick and roll. Tell her just a player role. I ain't trying to take it slow. Playing on me like you low. And I know just how it goes. Shorty want me for my dough. Missed out on love twice. Fucking had to pay the price. Honest stitching with my ice. And this cup, it got me nice.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Ade.
It's your boy up there.
And welcome back to another episode of BossTalk. It's just us two today.
Yeah, it's just the two of us, you know.
It's not always good to have a lot of people, you know. There's a lot of chaos in some of the episodes, but we're going to calm it down a little bit, have a heart-to-heart, calm little discussion with y'all.
All our guests. We'll have more future guests, but right now, start conversation with you guys. The conversation going. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below.
Facts.
And share.
Facts. So today we have an interesting topic for you guys.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about being uncomfortable to grow.
Growing.
Is it necessary?
Well, I'll start it off. For me, I think it's always good to grow. At any point in your life, if you choose to stay stagnant, it's like choosing to die or choosing to just not advance in life. And you can't succeed like that. Everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants to be great. Looking from outside at the world, see everybody is chasing the aspirations of being the best version of themselves. But to do that, you need to grow. And a lot of things are necessary for you to grow. You're going to have to shed a lot of dead weight.
Yeah, that's true. You did say an important thing. You do have to being stagnant is going to stop you from a lot of your blessings. So if you want to grow, you have to get out of your comfort zone. Being in your comfort zone can be the biggest factor to hold you back. So once you get out of your comfort zone and start doing things that you're not normal or not accustomed to doing, that's when you're going to see the real progress. That's when you're going to see the real growth, when you break those shells that are holding you back. So what are some instances in your life that you would say that you had to get out of your comfort zone and where you felt stagnant in, and how you broke out of that?
I can say, for just off the top of my head, me and Potsdam, I'm a bio major. It did a number on me. I was going through a lot. And now looking back, I can say I did go through depression in my own form. I was going through a lot of dark places. It was like a wall I couldn't get over. At some point, something clicked in my head. Maybe it was me joining the rugby team, getting into a club to distract myself from it, but something clicked in my brain where I had to grow. I had to stop making excuses. I could say now, 6+ years later at this time, I've grown a lot. And my mind has continued to grow, and it's important that you have to grow. And without that failure, without that sorrow I went through back then in Potsdam, I don't know if I'd be able to be who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd ask you the same thing. I did. How would have you
became not felt stagnant?
Well, you can go back and forth. You can bounce on it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we can just talk about what we just did today. Even back in the day, we weren't always in the best of shape, but now we've been getting more consistent in the gym. So that's what comfort zone that we overcame. Eating whatever we wanted to eat, unhealthy, not going to the gym, not having a consistent schedule. So health is definitely well. So with doing that, we become like more physically healthy. It's like a routine schedule for us now. So
man, can you tell them about the times when we did start working out?
Oh my God, bro!
When we was on the football team, man,
we failed though. That we got out of our comfort zone, but we had to fail first, and now we know what to do to be better at it.
So you could skip a lot of those practices.
We definitely did skip a lot. We definitely did skip a lot. So going to high school, starting off playing lacrosse and football, and going to practice.
What you love.
But you got to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations so you can better yourself, basically.
But just to play devil's advocate, let's say a person, they have tried, but they've come to a stagnation, and they, no matter how many times they try, keep running into that wall. Of course, they're going to fall into the mindset that, what's the point of growing? Let me just stay where I'm at. What would you say to them?
If you're in that situation where you just feel like you want to stay where you're at, you got to like self-reflect and really see, is that the best scenario for you? Is that really what you want for yourself? Because staying stagnant is not a good feeling. You're just going to let the time fly by, the years fly by. By the time you blink, you 50 years old and you still doing the same stuff that you was doing when you was 15 years old. Like, do you really want that to be your life? At that point, you definitely have to take a step back, self-reflect on what your values and what your goals and what your aspirations are. And then once you've reflected on that, it's time to take action, because staying stagnant is not going to help you get to any of those things that you really value. Reflect first and see where you truly want to be in life.
Honestly, I could see the point of view of that person, like a devil's advocate. I could see the viewpoint of that, but what I would say next is, at what point was it okay to give up on your dream? No matter what, we all have our own, but choosing to stop growing is like giving up on your dream.
That's a fact.
To do whatever you want this way. So I saw somebody, one of my friends from high school back in the day, he posted something asking, when is it okay? And I honestly think it's never okay. You shouldn't have to give up on your dreams. That's choosing to stop growing in everything you're doing, every aspect of life.
Mm-hmm.
And like everybody wants to level up,
So, what advice would you give to that person that is stagnant?
switch things up.
Switch things up.
It's never too late to switch. Like if you failed 1, 2, 3, no matter how many times, you have to be able to pivot and move. Like every successful person in this world had to pivot and move. You can't just be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I said at the beginning, like just choosing to stop growing is like choosing death.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to die. Like everybody has their day, but in Jesus' name I pray, none of our day will be too short.
Okay, so now I have another question to ask you.
Yeah.
So, how about for the person who's stagnant, right? But is in like a decent situation, life is okay for them, they're making some decent money, the lifestyle is not too bad, but they know that they're not yet where they want to be. But
Plan.
no plan, no plan formulated.
So
But they know that, they don't want to maintain wherever they're at right now in life. They want to get to the next level, but they don't have like a clear vision. But they're very comfortable at where they're at right now. So what advice would you give to that person?
I would ask them how long life is going to always throw hurdles your way. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's going to always be curveballs, and no matter how hard we try to plan for it, we're going to have to be able to maneuver on the spot when time comes to it. Where do you see yourself going tomorrow? Doing the same thing, and the next day the same thing, and the next day the same. So I'm gonna ask you, what makes you different from an animal in the zoo?
Mm-hmm.
Just repeating the cycle over and over and over again. You're not trying to get out of the trap.
Mm-hmm.
You're a sheep. And people don't like to be called sheep, but there are a lot of sheep in this world, and it's because they choose to stay stagnant and where they don't have the ability to get out of that.
That's true. But I wouldn't say that's a completely bad thing because everybody has their own path.
That's true.
So like if you're genuinely happy in where you're at in life and you don't want to do anything more than that, by all means continue to do or stay exactly where you're at. But if you do have like that thought behind your head and you're like, oh my God, I just want to be better than where I'm at right now, then you definitely have to take that step back and reevaluate where you're at. And if you stay in that same position that you're in right now, then you definitely have to start thinking about those other ways now. Like if you did lose your job, what would you do in that type of situation?
Because that's
you would have to have that type of mindset.
My bad to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I asked, how far did you plan ahead?
Mm-hmm.
So if you already knew your job was solidified, no matter how up and down the markets go, like my job is untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
You've already planned that. You've already planned ahead. So you can be comfortable. You can have the lifestyle you want. But at some point, you're going to get tired of it. Everybody has that switch in their head.
Yeah, I don't know how some people could just work 30 years in one position and then just not retire. I don't know how people could do that.
They do it out of one, comfortability and alignment.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like we live in an age where the bill collectors, they come in for their money. And you can't miss a month.
That's true.
As soon as you miss a month, they come for things that you put on the table for your family.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why people fall into that trap. But it's up to us, the next generation, to not fall into that same trap. We have to learn from our forefathers' mistakes so we can make sure they live and our future live.
So I like how you just said that. Make sure how they live comfortably.
Yeah.
You have to be uncomfortable so that your future generation can be comfortable.
Facts.
That person that's trapped in that cycle of that comfortability, exactly. You have to be uncomfortable. That brings us back full circle back to the topic. You have to be uncomfortable to grow.
But quick question, I would ask you guys, the viewers, at what instance in your life have you ever been too comfortable? And you knew you were too comfortable. You had to break that comfort. And if you never broke it out of it, tell us why. Comment that below. I feel like that's a conversation starter that everybody needs to understand and reflect. Everybody needs to genuinely reflect. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I where I want to be? Am I the reason why I'm not where I want to be? And now how do I get to where I want to be?
Self-reflection is very important. You gotta, because you're only where you're at. You're your own limitation. Honestly, you can reach the sky's the limit. It's just however much work you want to put into to get where you want to be at in life. You are your biggest obstacle, honestly. So if you really put in that work and you really tell yourself, okay, I want to better my situation, you're going to do it. You just have to believe in yourself, take that step back, like I said, reflect on what you want to do, where you want to be at, formulate a plan, because a plan is definitely important. A mission with no plan is like, you can't achieve it. So you definitely have to plan out exactly what you want to do day by day, write it down, check it off on your checklist, make sure that you get things done, have order. That's the best way to do it.
How you said before, like, we are our own biggest hater. But if you put the work in to grow, you can flip that. Flip that hater into a lover.
Do something different.
If you want to grow for your loved one, you're gonna have to do better. Because nobody's gonna want to be with somebody that, well, not. There's always somebody for somebody. I take that.
Everybody.
But you feel me? It's like, just to draw everything back in, I think we all have the ability in ourselves, and it's up to us. Like, no matter what anybody tells you, if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and say it's time for us, then you can't expect to ever get to that next step. I would honestly affirm and tell everybody it's okay to fail as long as you're not quitting. We all have to take our L's. 2 L's turn into a dub. You feel me?
And you also miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you never shoot that shot, you're never going to have the opportunity to make it. So keep shooting those shots. Even if you miss 50 of them, you might make the 51st one. And that could be life-changing for you. So always good to go. Shoot your shots, take those risks, get out your comfort zone, then that works. Anything else to add?
Nah, we're going to do more podcasts like this. If you guys like it, comment below.
Definitely comment down below.
Shorter podcasts.
Facts. I like the calm environment, a little heart-to-heart talk. Good.
But it's okay to grow. And it's okay to subscribe and like and comment.
Yeah, it's definitely okay to do that too. Definitely comment some more topics you wanted to talk about.
Follow us on Instagram. Everything is in
it's gonna be a description. Facts.
With that, it's been Up at
Ade. This has been. You already know.
We holla at
y'all. Lately I've been thinking what's the better route. Gotta watch at that back door, they tryna take me out. I ain't getting paid, stressing out.